Again, I do kind of favor DH in this matchup, and DH kind of fell out of favor over the last year or so, but it's starting to come back into favor. I really hope to see a Demon Hunter. I think Demon Hunter is the strongest pick on this map, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Keeper as well. One of the reasons that DH is really strong on this map is you have access to free level 2 with those 2 creeps, and then you can kind of juke out this creep and get 3 really good items for your DH. If you end up getting some item luck, you can end up getting a Claws, +3 agility, +3 agility. You also end up getting access to 2 different tomes, which can give you even 4 more agility. And assuming now that's in the ideal world, which never actually happens unless your name is Moon or Lalayat. So in that case, I don't know. I still feel like DH is really strong just because you have access to those strong items really quickly, a really quick level 2.5, and you're able to counter the Keeper. So let's see what Neutron ends up going for a Potom. I love it. You never see that. And a DH from Foggy. So Foggy ends up going for the DH, expecting Neutron to go for the Keeper, but we see a Priestess counting out.
How does Priestess counter Demon, though, if he thought that this was what was going to happen?
So the idea is Priestess doesn't need mana to do damage. The Priestess's damage comes in the form of the aura, which gives damage to all of the other units.
I think once upon a time you would go Priestess if you wanted to mass hunts, because Demon Hunter kind of sucks against like a ton of hunts.
Yeah, and we still might see mass hunts coming out from Neutron, but I kind of doubt that. Usually with Priestess, what you end up seeing is a very heavy tier 2 push, especially against the Demon Hunter. So kind of what I expect to see in this matchup is the Priestess coming out. Priestess is still going to get level 2 just because it's so easy on this map. They're going to scout each other out. He's going to see Demon Hunter, and Neutron is going to end up going for probably Priestess, Naga second with the range upgrade, and then either go into a mass archer push, maybe even grabbing the Shredder for a strong tier 2 push, or adding dots to his army. But I doubt that we see Neutron try to do like a very late game tier 3 build with this Priestess. My guess is we're going to see some kind of really strong tier 2 push.
Yeah, Huntress always there here for Neutron. He went to the bottom right with one of his archers. Don't know if he wanted to, if he was thinking about maybe buying some mercenaries. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to buy the Troll Shadow Priest at this stage in the game, and he already scouted this was a demon.
Yeah, you don't really need the Priest. Getting the Troll Berserker is a really strong pickup.
Okay, he just killed his levels, by the way. He went True Shot plus Searing Arrow. Which I guess is normal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's normal. Yeah, that's expected. Again, the idea is if he's going to have all of his mana burned, at least every 3 or 4 seconds he'll get a Searing Arrow shot.
Damn, the demon's hurting already.
Yeah, those Searing Arrows, they really start to stack up. It's plus 10 damage at level 1. And if you think about it, you get excited over a plus 6 claws, and a plus 12 claws is crazy. So plus 10 damage at level 1 it's a good bit of damage. And then he's also getting plus 5 damage from that aura, so that's plus 15 damage on that level 2 Priestess. Priestess does really strong auto attack damage.
Yeah, the Demon Hunter already kind of hurting, running around.
And
not doing too much.
As a result of that damage, we're seeing 4 Moonwells come out from Foggy. What that means is usually you'll end up doing a 3 Moonwell into going up to 40 food. What that means is if he's going 4 Moonwells, is he's a little bit afraid of that tier 2 push, and he wants to make sure that these Moonwells regenerate as much life and mana as possible during this first nighttime. Because he's already taking damage on his DH, he's going to drain a lot of those Moonwells trying to heal his DH, and then he wants to make sure that he has Moonwells to defend the inevitable incoming tier 2 push from Neutron.
He's going for the first hunt now after going for... Actually, no, second one, sorry. After just grabbing the single archer.
This is actually really an interesting build coming out from Neutron. We are seeing a transition into hunts, but it's only 1 AOW hunts. So we might see Dryads at tier 2?
Maybe Naga second?
My guess is Naga second. But Dryads at tier 2 don't really make sense, especially if you're going Naga. The idea behind that is the Naga essentially serves the same purpose as the Dryad, so there's no real reason to invest in those Dryads, because Dryads are very easily countered by archers. So if Foggy has 5 or 6 archers, which if you look in his base, he has 6 archers already. A Dryad dies in about 1.5 volleys from 6 archers. So investing in those Dryads, it just doesn't really make sense.
Ooh, Neutral's getting second Ancient of War. He's just gonna have mass hunts.
So that doesn't surprise me at all, just for the reasons that I was just stating. That Dryads aren't really that strong. With these hunts, the idea is you try and catch this DH out creeping as he's doing right now. So you can't really fight these archers in their base, but you love to see them out in this open position, and you want to try and fight them. Now, archers actually do the same amount of damage as huntresses, so they're not that much better, but they tank a lot better. So you still can't really fight them if there's a lot more archers than hunts. But
he's gonna go for bounce, right? I guess.
Glaive bounce, absolutely. It's really strong against those low HP archers, and especially when you end up sieging the base and you're trying to do damage to those buildings. The glaive bounce stops Foggy from being able to repair, because all of that bounce damage almost instantly kills the wisps.
Foggy's getting ultra vision. I think he realized he was being stalked a little bit. Used the rejuvenation potion. And on the other side, yeah, we have Moonglaive. It's called Moonglaive, actually.
Yeah.
I always say it bounce.
Yeah, the bounce is... yeah. Upgraded Moonglaive. The Moonglaive is the name of the attack of the Hunter. So the upgraded Moonglaive is the upgraded attack. Oh, and he saw him hide there, so he runs into position, gets those archers into position, and then clears them out. And we see this Naga fight. The one archer falls, 2. I may have missed another one. It might have been 2 archers falling. He did save one of his hunts, backed up with about 100 HP. And now it's this DH trying to focus this Naga. That Naga is the #1 priority target, because that's the guy that stops you from being able to micro. And that's always the target that you want to hit first. And these archers, they don't want to fight unless they're next to these moonwells. So
it's taking to tier 3 here. What's Foggy aiming for? He wants to get a giant behind his bears? Like...
No, I think Foggy is just going bears. He wants bears. The idea is for these hunts, you want that DH to be able to tank in the front line. And in order for that DH to be able to tank in the front line, you need access to rejuvenation. It's one of the reasons I kind of expected to see a DH mirror on this map. Because you have access to the level 3 DH, and then you use bears to rejuve the DH to make sure that he's at full life and able to tank in the front line. But Neutron decided to make a liar out of me, and he's transitioning into this mass hunt build with Naga, and we're seeing an Expo come out.
I think he's adding archers to his composition, actually.
That's
like,
that's weird.
I'm pretty sure I saw an archer upgrade on the way. These Ancient of War. And yeah, he just added one more archer.
And Neutron is actually kind of lucky there. So he had an Expo queued up right here. He stopped the queue as he was getting jacked and TP'd up, so he never actually built the expansion. You're kind of lucky with that timing in terms of the jack coming in right at that time and him knowing not to build that expansion.
Scroll to base is pretty good to have here for Neutron, because he's not really gonna go into bears ever in this game. Or at least for a very long time, at least.
Is he even... he's throwing up a lore? No. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if he even goes lore. Usually once you're on these huntresses and you're at this food count, you're kind of committing to tier 1. Whether it be huntresses or archers, you're kind of stuck at that level, because you're saying, okay, I'm just going to be... I'm going to do a really strong push with these units that I have, and in order to transition into other units, it's very, very expensive. So I don't expect to see lores come up from Neutron. I expect him to try to take this game with the units that he has.
And I'm fishing for items right now. Sentry Wards is one of the best items on a small map like this.
Yeah, enabled because you usually end up, you'll place like one here. It lets you know exactly when they're leaving their base. And like I mentioned earlier, the idea with huntresses against archers and dryads is you need position on them. So, and those sentry wards really allow you to get the position. It lets you know exactly when they start to creep, so that you're able to get the perfect timing on that creep check.
Yeah, Naga just picked up the Orb of Venom here. She's bringing that to the Demon Hunter.
Ooh.
Did he see maybe that the Sentry Orb was put down there? I guess maybe he doesn't really care.
It's possible. It's also possible he doesn't care. When you're going bears, it feels like you need every single gold that you have, because every gold that you use on reveals or dust, or like old school games where you used to buy boots, the reason you no longer see people buying boots is because you need that gold to get the bears as quickly as possible. And we see Neutron using that the Sentry Ward to get the Jack, but unfortunately for Neutron, Foggy was able to finish the Golem, take that big item, and TP out. And by the time the next fight starts, he's going to have access to the bears, and that bear upgrade is going to finish in about 2 seconds here.
And he got a greater healing.
And probably the best item in this situation.
Yeah. Stuff of
was hoping
preservation
for either,
available.
he was hoping for either greater healing or greater invul, and in my opinion, greater healing is actually the better item. And we do see a kind of late expansion coming up from Neutron. It's almost finishing, but it still has to entangle, so that mine is not going to be mining for about 30 seconds or so.
Damn, and actually Neutron broke upkeep before he even started mining from his expo. I think he realizes he's gonna have to fight soon. I mean, he has the expo running, and there is none on the way for Foggy, which I'm guessing Neutron might scout soon as well.
To be honest, in this matchup, it doesn't even matter. When you're already at tier 3 in bears, you can almost fight 2 base versus 1. He already has his, like, the big... well, hang on, this fight is starting, and then I'll go back to what I was saying. So, you see he has the DH right in front with that. So he has the staff of teleportation. So the thing you want to look for is DH is going to get focused, he's going to get staffed out by the Naga, and then he's going to staff right back in. All the while, he's going to micro those archers and dryads, and he's just attack clicking with these bears and his demon hunter. He wants to make sure he's getting as much damage out of the bears and the demon hunter as possible. He wants to make sure he's not wasting time running around in circles chasing units. So he's just going to keep running these archers and dryads back. A little bit of a miss micro from Foggy there, losing those 2 archers. But all the while, those bears and demon hunter were doing a ton of damage, and Neutron is going to run away with the tail between his legs, kind of licking his wounds here.
He's gonna use Revelation maybe for this? No? Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Still nobody picked up that tome, even though he walked right past it, by the way.
Yeah, but what I was saying earlier is, even in this kind of matchup, even if the Night Elf that's staying on tier 1 and going hunts, even if he fast expands, gets that expand up, the person who's teching the tier 3, you can almost fight 2 versus 1. Now you kind of have to keep up the aggression. You almost play it like undead versus a human matchup, right? The undead goes tier 3, constantly pushes the human expansion, and it kind of feels like you're always fighting from behind. I'm sure you know all about that. And in this matchup, it's kind of the same thing, right? You have the one Night Elf who's massing tier 1 has the expansion, then the other Night Elf is going tier 3 and pushing with their superior units. When we see another fight coming out, we see attack click coming out from the bears. There was Juve on the DH to start the fight, so that DH is nice and healthy. That DH will never, ever die. I expect to see a GG coming out from Neutron here in a second, and there it is.